Our world is a mosaic of beauty and complexity, but also of struggle and hardship. Today, we journey beyond the wonders, seeking the most poignant truths about each country. This is a journey of empathy, not judgment, a window into the resilience of millions. By acknowledging these sorrows, we deepen our connection to humanity and recognize the challenges we all share. The stories ahead are not just statistics. They are lived experiences that remind us of the work still needed for a more compassionate world. Madagascar, famed for its unique wildlife and breathtaking landscapes, hides a harsh reality. Extreme poverty grips most of its people. Despite the island's natural beauty, the daily lives of many Malagasy are marked by hardship and struggle. Over 75% of Malagasy live on less than $1 a day, making survival a daily struggle. Families often have to make difficult choices just to get by, and the lack of resources is a constant challenge. Deforestation, driven by the need for farmland and charcoal, scars the land and worsens poverty. The loss of forests not only impacts the environment, but also the livelihoods of those who depend on it. Children suffer most. Malnutrition is rampant, affecting their growth and development. Many children do not get enough to eat, and their health suffers as a result. Education is often out of reach for many. Schools are underfunded and overcrowded, and many children are unable to attend due to the need to work and support their families. Many must work instead of learning, sacrificing their futures for survival. The need to contribute to the household income takes precedence over education. The cycle of poverty is relentless, passed from one generation to the next. Without intervention, the same struggles are inherited by each new generation. Yet the resilience of the Malagasy people endures, even as poverty casts a long shadow. Their spirit and determination to improve their lives and communities are evident. In this land of natural marvels, the human struggle is as profound as the beauty. The story of Madagascar is one of both incredible natural wonders and the enduring human spirit. The Maldives, a breathtaking paradise of over 1,000 coral islands scattered across the Indian Ocean, faces an existential threat: rising seas. This nation, renowned for its crystal-clear waters and vibrant marine life, is now on the front lines of climate change. As the world's lowest-lying nation, climate change is not an abstract concept here. It's a daily crisis that shapes every aspect of life. Flooded streets and saltwater intrusion are becoming more common, disrupting families and livelihoods. Each storm and high tide erodes precious land, contaminates freshwater supplies, and threatens the very foundations of homes and communities. The people of the Maldives live with the constant anxiety that the next big wave could change everything. Coral reefs, vital for both the local ecology and the economy, are dying from warming seas and ocean acidification. These reefs not only support marine life, but also protect the islands from the full force of the ocean. Without urgent and coordinated global action, the Maldives could become uninhabitable within decades. Rising sea levels threaten to swallow entire communities, leaving behind only memories and empty shorelines. The government has even considered the unthinkable, relocating the entire population to another country. For many, the idea of abandoning their ancestral home is heartbreaking, but it may become a necessity. Imagine losing your homeland to the ocean, a culture, a history, and a way of life erased by forces beyond your control. The emotional toll is immense, as families face the possibility of being scattered across the globe. For Maldivians, the saddest truth is the prospect of becoming a nation without a home, a people forced to watch their islands disappear, and with them, a unique culture and identity that may never be replaced. Cambodia's ancient temples, like the majestic Angkor Wat, stand as symbols of a rich and enduring civilization. Yet these breathtaking monuments exist alongside a much darker chapter in the nation's history, a chapter marked by unimaginable suffering and loss. In the late 1970s, the Khmer Rouge regime unleashed a brutal genocide that claimed the lives of nearly a quarter of Cambodia's population. Cities emptied as people were forced into the countryside, and fear gripped every corner of the nation. Intellectuals, artists, teachers, and even those who simply wore glasses were singled out as enemies of the regime. The Khmer Rouge believed that education and creativity threatened their power, so they targeted anyone who represented knowledge or culture for execution. Today, the killing fields and torture centers like Tuol Sleng remain as haunting reminders of the atrocities committed. These sites are silent witnesses to the pain and terror that once engulfed the country, drawing visitors from around the world who come to pay their respects. The trauma of those years still lingers. Almost every Cambodian family lost loved ones, parents, siblings, children. The collective grief is profound, and the scars run deep, as an entire generation was lost to violence and fear. The systematic destruction of the educated class left Cambodia struggling to rebuild. Schools and universities stood empty for years, and the loss of teachers and professionals crippled the nation's development for decades, leaving lasting gaps in education and opportunity. Rebuilding from such devastation is a monumental task. Yet, Cambodians have shown remarkable resilience, working together to restore their communities, educate their children, and heal from the wounds of the past. The genocide remains a wound that has not fully healed, shaping Cambodia's national identity and collective memory. Memorials and ceremonies serve as spaces for reflection, mourning, and hope for a more peaceful future. Cambodia's story is a sobering reminder of humanity's capacity for cruelty, but also for resilience, compassion, and the enduring strength of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable tragedy. South Africa, the Rainbow Nation, still struggles with a broken promise: youth unemployment. Over half of young South Africans are jobless, their potential left to wither. The legacy of apartheid lingers, with education and opportunity still deeply unequal. This crisis fuels poverty, crime, and social unrest, eroding hope for the future. Many graduates find their degrees useless in a stagnant job market. The energy of youth, meant to drive progress, becomes a source of frustration and instability. The human cost is immense. A generation born free but still shackled by the past. The saddest fact: so much potential wasted and dreams deferred. The United States, a leader in medical innovation, faces a painful paradox. Millions lack basic health care. Without universal coverage, access is tied to employment and often unaffordable. Medical debt is a leading cause of bankruptcy, and many delay care out of fear of costs. This divide leads to poorer health outcomes and deepens social inequality. The choice between medicine and rent is a reality for too many. Minority and low-income communities suffer most, trapped in a two-tiered system. In a nation built on life and liberty, health remains a privilege, not a right. Pakistan's greatest tragedy is its lost generation: over 22 million children out of school. Poverty forces many into labor instead of classrooms, robbing them of their future. Girls face even greater barriers, from cultural norms to lack of safe schools. This crisis perpetuates poverty and gender inequality, stifling national progress. Each child denied education is a personal and collective loss. The cycle of illiteracy and hardship continues, dimming the nation's potential. The saddest truth: millions of bright minds never get the chance to shine. Japan, a land of beauty and precision, lives under constant threat from nature. Earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions are part of daily life on the Pacific Ring of Fire. Despite world-class preparedness, the psychological toll is immense. Memories of disasters like the 2011 tsunami and Fukushima linger in the national psyche. Resilience is a necessity, but so is a quiet anxiety. Life can change in an instant. The Japanese live with the knowledge that their home's serenity is built on instability. It's a heartbreaking bargain: beauty and culture, forever shadowed by potential devastation. Haiti, born from a heroic fight for freedom, is trapped in relentless political instability. Decades of coups, corruption, and weak governance have crippled development. Infrastructure crumbles, basic services are scarce, and public trust is shattered. Gang violence and poverty are rampant, making daily life a struggle. The Haitian spirit is strong, but hope is constantly undermined by failed leadership. The dream of the nation's founders remains unfulfilled, buried under chaos. The people's resilience is remarkable, but the cycle of instability persists. Haiti's story is one of pride, pain, and a longing for lasting peace. Brazil's indigenous peoples face systemic violence and erasure, hidden behind the nation's vibrant image. Their lands are invaded by illegal loggers and miners, destroying both environment and culture. The Amazon, their home for millennia, is vanishing, along with their way of life. Discrimination and neglect leave them marginalized, their voices ignored. Diseases and violence threaten entire communities, echoing centuries of injustice. These guardians of biodiversity are treated as obstacles, not citizens. The saddest truth: those who protect Brazil's greatest treasures are fighting to remain visible in their own land. Australia's oldest cultures are losing their voices. Indigenous languages are vanishing at an alarming rate. Over 250 languages once thrived. Now, only about 20 remain strong. Colonization, forced assimilation, and the stolen generations broke the chain of transmission. Each lost language is a loss of knowledge, culture, and identity. Efforts to revive them are heroic, but for many, it's already too late. This extinction is happening in a wealthy nation, a silent testament to colonization's enduring impact. The world loses a unique perspective with every language that fades. Australia's ancient heritage is at risk of falling silent forever. These stories reveal the fragility and resilience woven into our world. The challenges we've seen are not isolated. They're part of a global tapestry. Acknowledging these truths is the first step toward empathy and action. The human spirit endures, offering hope even in the darkest times. Stay informed, stay engaged, and help write a more hopeful chapter for our planet.